Hey everybody, Toby here, Nutrishop Sarasota, and today I'm going to do a little tutorial on creatine. What it is, who should take it, what the best forms are, and some other great information. Most of you have probably heard about creatine if you've been in the workout space for a while. If you've lifted weights or go to the gym or looked into supplements, you probably heard about creatine. What is creatine? Well, creatine is a naturally occurring substance that's made of 3 different amino acids: methionine, arginine, and glycine. You can't take those separately and have your body make creatine, but your body does make creatine on its own. It makes up to 5 grams a day. You actually get it from eating certain types of meat and fish. So it is a naturally occurring supplement that our bodies do make. It's not something that is fake or that we don't make. It's, again, completely natural. It's completely safe, actually, too. There have been a lot of studies behind creatine. It's probably the most studied sports supplement in history. I mean, probably more than even protein. There's studies on creatine for just about everything. And in fact, that brings me to the next point. So who should take creatine? The bottom line is pretty much everybody over the age of, say, 15. I mean, it is that important, especially in the elderly population, especially if you've had an injury, especially if you work out, especially if you want to increase mental cognition. So recent studies have shown that creatine can actually reverse age-related cognitive decline. So that's Alzheimer's. Just as we get older, our brains aren't as sharp. Creatine is found in the brain. When you supplement with creatine, it has been shown to increase cognitive abilities. Actually, it's been shown to increase memory and focus as well. So students studying, creatine should be taken. How much? Well, 5 grams will do it. 5 grams is a minimum dosage, and 5 grams will do it for that. Now, if you're trying to build muscle, you want to go, I prefer 10 grams. I've seen the best results with my clients with 10 grams a day, but 5 grams for general health. If you have a grandma that's starting to slip mentally, or has injuries that need to be recovered, anybody that has injuries need to be covered, 5 grams a day of creatine is really going to make a big difference. So everybody should be taking this. Now, if you're trying to build muscle, creatine does a number of pretty awesome things, right? What it does is it increases protein synthesis. How it does that is it pulls water into the muscle cells themselves and expands them, allows the mitochondria more room to work and expand and take protein and turn it into muscle. So in a construction analogy, protein and amino acids is the wood you're building the house with. Taking creatine is like using a nail gun instead of a hammer. So it's a much more efficient tool to get the job done faster. So you're going to recover faster, you're going to be stronger because it increases ATP synthesis. ATP is a adenosine triphosphate. Creatine will actually sacrifice a phosphate molecule to ADP and reload ATP faster. ATP is what powers your muscle for explosive movements. So any type of sports training, obviously bodybuilding, any kind of lifting weights, all that stuff is explosive. It uses ATP. Creatine replaces ATP at a faster rate than you would normally. Creatine also buffers lactic acid production. And what that means is that last rep that you can't squeeze out because your muscles are kind of on fire, that's lactic acid buildup. By buffering lactic acid production, you can squeeze out more reps. And it's all about doing more work in the gym to create that adaptation response, meaning your body wants to grow a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger to withstand the same stress that it was under the next time that it's under that stress. And so that's what creatine does. It makes that adaptation response happen faster and more efficiently. So now, different forms of creatine. Well, there is creatine monohydrate, which is the studied form. Every study that's done is done on creatine monohydrate. There are some things called creatine HCI and a few other different forms. None of those have really any studies behind them, and most of them come from China. So you got to be very wary of different creatine forms. However, there is one that's for the last 10 years, actually a little longer than that now, has been the preferred form of creatine. It is called crealkaline. Crealkaline is in these products. Crealkaline is a patented form of creatine. It is still monohydrate, so it's still creatine monohydrate. It's just buffered, meaning it's protected from your stomach acid. So creatine absorbs into the blood very efficiently. It doesn't absorb into the muscle very efficiently, and it has it converts into creatinine very quickly. Creatinine is a toxic byproduct that your body has to get rid of. So the side effects that are associated with creatine, like water retention, bloating, going to the bathroom all the time, cramping, all those things are not from creatine. It's from the conversion of creatine into creatinine, because our bodies are very acidic, our stomachs are very acidic. So once creatine hits that, a lot of it gets converted. So out of a 10-gram dose of creatine monohydrate, you're going to absorb about 1 gram to 1.5 grams, 10 to 15% absorption rate. You also want sugar with creatine in order to get the insulin spike, which is what pushes the creatine into the muscle cell itself. Well, crealkaline, in fact, specifically Infuse, has the crealkaline, so it's pH buffered, so it does not convert into creatinine, so you're not going to get bloated. In fact, this is the only creatine I recommend for women. because of that fact. If I made women bloated, I'd be out of business. You will not get bloated on this. You will get all the benefits without that. This also has insulin mimetics in there. Insulin mimetics are ingredients like dipinitol, 4-hydroxyisoleucine, vanadyl sulfate, and alpha-lipoic acid that drive the creatine into the cell without having to have a blood sugar spike. So you don't have to take it with sugar, which you can see it would be counterproductive if you're trying to maintain a certain level of body fat. You don't want a lot of sugar. So Infused by far is the best creatine supplement on the market, containing crealkaline and beta-alanine and all those insulin mimetics. Power ATP has crealkaline as well, as a product called, an ingredient rather, called Peak ATP, which has numerous human studies on it. So studies have shown increase in muscle size, muscle thickness, strength, and also muscle excitability, which means you're firing more muscle fibers off as you're working. You're engaging more muscle fibers, so obviously that's going to translate into more muscle damage, which means better recovery, better growth, and better performance in the gym and on the court or the field if you're an athlete. So creatine is one of those supplements that everybody should be taking, men, women, older folks. Even if you don't lift weights, creatine has a huge benefit for you. We have multiple forms of creatine. I mean, I have multiple brands, rather. I have creatine monohydrate in like 3 different brands, and then I have crealkaline in 3 different brands as well. So we are fully stocked here at Nutrishop Sarasota. Come on in and try some. I guarantee you will love it. All right, have a good day. Bye.